Let's talk about Bitcoin. When you hear that word, a lot of things probably come to mind, but I bet risk is high on the list. But what if we thought about that risk a little differently? What if it's not a stop sign, but more like a map, a set of challenges that we can actually understand, navigate, and maybe even use to our advantage? That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to build a playbook for investing in Bitcoin with our eyes wide open.
This right here, this is our guiding star for this whole conversation. There is no such thing as a risk-free investment. It just doesn't exist. So the goal isn't to find some magic risk-free path. The goal is to become a smart investor, someone who understands the terrain before they start the journey. This is about building a real strategy, not just rolling the dice and hoping for the best.
So, where do we even begin? Well, we start with the toughest risks of all, the ones that live inside our own heads. Our first stop is all about taming those inner demons of market psychology.
20%. Just look at that number. That's how much the price of Bitcoin can swing either up or down in a single day. This is the raw, unfiltered reality of volatility. It's the first thing you have to come to terms with. So the real question isn't whether it exists, it's how do you mentally frame it? Because that massive swing can be seen in two completely opposite ways. If you're a short-term trader, someone trying to guess the next move, that number is terrifying. It's a recipe for a heart attack. But if you're a long-term investor, that same volatility is the engine. It's the very thing that creates the possibility for those massive gains over the years. You see, the asset doesn't change, but your time horizon changes everything.
So, if volatility is just a neutral force, what makes it so dang dangerous? It's because it pours gasoline on the fire of the two emotions that have probably destroyed more wealth than anything else in history.
First up, you've got FOMO. You know this one, the fear of missing out. It's that pit in your stomach when prices are going parabolic. Everyone you know is talking about how much money they're making, and you feel this desperate need to buy right now, before the rocket ship leaves without you. The problem, of course, is that feeling usually kicks in right at the peak of the hype.
And then you have its evil twin, FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. This is the ice-cold panic that hits when the market is crashing and every headline is screaming that it's all over. It's that voice in your head shouting, "Sell it all! Just make the pain stop." So think about it. FOMO makes you buy high, and FUD makes you sell low. It's the perfect recipe for disaster.
So how do you fight these incredibly powerful feelings? Well, the historical data points to an antidote that's almost laughably simple: time. History shows that any investor who just tuned out all that daily noise and simply held on for 4 years or more has come out ahead. It is the ultimate strategy for sidestepping that emotional roller coaster.
Okay, so we've dealt with the battle in your mind. Now let's zoom out and talk about the external storms, those systemic threats that could feel completely outside of your control. One of the biggest fears people have is government crackdowns. And you know what? It's a valid concern. We've definitely seen it happen. China has tried to ban Bitcoin mining on multiple occasions. Countries like India and Turkey have put in place some pretty tough regulations. These kinds of headlines can absolutely spook the market.
But here's the fascinating lesson that history keeps teaching us. Every time one country tries to clamp down, the network just proves how resilient it is. It's like a game of whack-a-mole. Miners just pack up and move somewhere else. Developers keep building, and adoption just finds a new place to grow. It's a powerful real-world test of a core idea. Bitcoin is borderless, and no single government can shut it down.
Now, another huge external risk is about where you keep your Bitcoin. And this is not a new problem. Way back in 2014, the biggest crypto exchange in the world at the time, Gox, just collapsed. It lost an incredible 850,000 Bitcoin. Then, fast forward to 2022, and we saw history repeat itself with FTX. It's a harsh reminder that even the biggest, most trusted names can fail. This is a pattern we have to acknowledge.
The lesson from every one of these disasters is incredibly powerful and incredibly simple. It's a core belief in this world. Don't trust, verify. See, when you leave your Bitcoin on an exchange, you're trusting them to keep it safe. The only way to remove that trust from the equation is self-custody. It means holding your own private keys so that you and only you are in control of your money.
So we've covered the psychology and the big external threats. This last part is all about empowerment. It's about forging your own armor, because these are the risks that you have direct personal control over. This is your playbook.
And it's actually pretty straightforward. Here's your checklist. 1. For any serious amount of Bitcoin, you need a hardware wallet. Get your coins off the exchanges.
2. Never, ever, ever share your private keys or your seed phrase with anyone for any reason. Treat them like they're the keys to your entire life. 3. Be vigilant. Scammers are smart. Double-check every website, every app, every address. And finally, number 4, an easy one. Enable two-factor authentication wherever you possibly can. It's such a simple step that adds a huge layer of security.
Okay, let's bring all this home. We've looked at psychology, systemic risks, and personal security. It all comes together on what we can call the investor's path, the thing that separates actual skill from just being lucky.
So what does managing risk like a pro actually look like? It really comes down to 3 fundamental rules. First, the golden rule of everything. Never invest more money than you can afford to lose. Just don't. Second, be disciplined. Decide on a percentage of your portfolio you're comfortable with, and stick to it. Don't let emotions change your plan. And third, think in years, not in days. Focus on long-term holding, not the temptation of short-term trading.
In the end, it really just boils down to this choice. Which one are you? Are you the gambler, the person who just crosses their fingers and hopes for good luck? Or are you the investor, the person who understands the risks, makes a plan, and then executes that plan with discipline? The asset is exactly the same for both. It's the mindset that makes all the difference in the world.
The risks in Bitcoin are real. There's no doubt about it. But they aren't insurmountable. They're known variables, things you can actually plan for and manage. You have the playbook now. So the only question left is, are you ready to use it?